Hello, Mechwarriors, and welcome to the Mechbay, where we fix your mech and fix your game. What's going on, Mechwarriors? I'm your host, Josh. I got my co-host, Loremaster Denham.
Howdy, howdy.
And Steve, the man who always holds up the dropship because of his oversized luggage, with me today.
Look, if you can't bring your paints and your brushes and your miniatures and a guitar with a ukulele accompaniment, what are you traveling for?
And we are the Mechbay Podcast, your number one source for all things casual to competitive tabletop BattleTech. And today's episode is sponsored by Mechwarriors Stallcotter and Mechwarrior Jared Hahn. Those guys, they get the good actuator grease.
We have good actuator grease.
We have good actuator grease. And we have worse actuator grease.
Where does the salted butter fit into this?
That's the worst actuator grease.
Okay. Just had to check.
All right, boys. We survived Memorial Day. Woo!
We did it. We did it.
We survived a lot of things physically in the meantime, right?
Yeah. Honestly, things have been kind of crazy on my end. I mean, we had someone at the office pass away. Everything's been on fire, man. Life's been tough, but we're here and we're ready to talk about BattleTech stuff, which is exciting.
Stuff's on fire, yo. Stuff's on fire.
Stuff's on fire. Oh.
What about you, Denham? Anything's on fire for you? That's a bad
Yeah. I mean, I work in IT. Sometimes we literally have things that are on fire. And yeah, things were a mess, have been a mess, will be a mess for a while. So it is nice to get those occasional games of BattleTech in where the fires are more controlled.
Nice. Well, do you want to start off with some BattleTech news?
If we say no, is the episode over? I'm just kidding. Of course, let's get started.
All right. Well, first up, the obvious one. The subject of tonight's episode, Draconis Reach, Draconis Reach.
It's out. It's in stores.
Well,
I've seen it.
Some stores.
Yeah, you've seen it, Steve? That's impressive.
It's on. We have one local shop that is very well stocked with BattleTech stuff, and Pam does a really nice job keeping everything up to date. So I last time I was in, I did see a copy on the shelf.
Yeah, my local store is supposed to get copies in any day now, but I have not seen them on the shelf yet.
I don't know if Fortress has it. I was just trying to check real quick.
That's how I got mine.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, that's the big one for BattleTech news. I feel like we're in a lame duck, season for BattleTech where if we get anything, it's good. But really, we're just waiting on the one thing.
Gen Con's coming up, so there's going to be a lot of news then. So I'm sure they're trying not to say anything, to give any spoilers for anything that might be coming out for that. And then, of course, we got like Core coming out eventually someday, maybe.
Well, they said that was supposed to release at Gen Con. So, I mean, I think that this puts us in a weird lull where how much is going to be changed? What are we really expecting? Obviously, we had the interview with Aron and Keith, but I don't know how much other news we're going to be getting about upcoming content until that happens. So
that's okay. Because for some non-CGL BattleTech news, we, the Mechbay Podcast, released another Patreon episode for the month of May. Me and Steve, we talk about the petting zoo. And we also learned why Steve is a very bad person.
I'm not a bad person.
I think anyone who listens to our newest Patreon episode walk away being like, you know what? I'm not going to let Steve into the petting zoo.
Look, I had one person in the Discord say that they agree with me.
Just because they agree doesn't make you a good person.
But I'm not alone, and that's what matters, and that's okay. You too can learn my
deep, dark shames.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not ashamed of it. It's just
that's even better.
It doesn't make me look very good. That's true.
No, it does not.
I'm not wrong, though.
You're not wrong. But
legally, I'm not wrong.
So check that out on our Patreon. Also, Mechbay content news. We released our first YouTube short. Woo! Did y'all
too? We say like we when it was 100% you.
It was 101%
YouTube stuff. That's not my bag. I find it difficult enough to edit an audio track. audio and video, you have fun with that, man.
Did y'all watch it? Did y'all?
Yeah.
Of course I saw it.
Okay. Yeah. So we released our Federated Suns Battle Armor quick, 3-minute overview to accompany our, Battle Armor podcast episode, and it was fun. You got to see some painted models. They spin around. I get to talk about like in-depth rules, like, hey, this one gets +3, things that don't sound good on the show. So yeah, it was fun. It took way longer to make, but that's video for you, baby.
Is that going to be the only YouTube short now because it took so long?
No. I think it'll be a better way to talk about specific units instead of like broad categories of units.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what we can do with that going forward.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on some hobby progress. Let's start it off. Guys, I got some hobby progress done.
Nice.
Is it BattleTech hobby progress?
It is BattleTech hobby progress.
Oh, let's go. All right. What you got?
All right. I assembled metal models.
No.
What?
Sometimes that can be a real pain in the rear.
Oh, let's get real. It was 100% a pain. I was like, why
I
do
can see from here his fingers are still stuck to the side of his face.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to go down. I assembled my Beowulf. That was not a lot of fun. 5 out of 10. Do not like their legs on that one because it's like pre-molded into like the little mini hex. And I was like, no, this does not work. Also, the weird laser cannon on its arm essentially arm is down. Like imagine T-pose, but the gun is facing forward. And I was like, that's dumb. Yeah.
The one thing I don't like about these medals is sometimes, unless you pose them exactly the same way as the TRO art, because that's how Iron Winds designs them to match the TRO art, if you don't put them in exactly that way, it falls apart. It doesn't want to go that way. It looks weird. The joints don't line up. I had a heck of a time with my onager that I tried to put together, right? It's got that kind of like running pose. I'd like shave off hips and stuff to make it stand the way I wanted to. It was a pain.
It is a pain. So I got the Beowulf done. I'm going to convert that into the Beowulf with a sword because it's got a sword.
Are you using a Lego sword for the sword?
No. I'll figure out what I'm going to do with that. And then next I get the Vandal. The Capellan Omni Mech. I'm going to give that one a 2 out of 10 on the assembly.
Uh-oh.
I mean, the legs are in 2 pieces. Like the foot is 1 piece, then there's the lower leg and the upper leg. And I was like, I don't need that in my life right now, metal model.
Yeah.
Still
better than the Tiburon, though.
Yes. Yeah. That was not fun. Next, we got the Goon, little Capellan Omni Mech.
It's a gun.
That was okay. The legs, I mean, I knew what I was getting to with that one. That's a 5 out of 10. Old school Hollander.
Okay.
I have that metal mini.
I know, and I was like, I want one too. I bought this one before we knew we were getting a plastic one. So you know what? All my merc companies getting a Hollander, whether they like it or not. Yeah, I'm going to give that one just a 8 out of 10 for easiness, even being like that it was mainly already done because it's from the Fortress's pre-owned model. So it was just the main Gauss rifle and an arm.
It was already done, and he still gives it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, because it took me 20 minutes to get the one arm on.
Woof.
So those were like the main models. I did get my Shenlong battle armor finally done. So I got my little dragon cat boys.
Nice.
Yeah, right? A Mantoffel. Finally assembled that from our Bluegrass Iron Wind Metals trip.
The acquisitions, yes.
Then I have my Thor artillery vehicle, which is like the actual gun turret, like with tripod thingy.
Weird.
Yeah, and then a little ammo truck that goes with it. And it's really cute. That's really it. Like it's
that's
just
a lot, though. I mean, that's a lot of building.
Oh yeah, it was like a whole
models.
evening of just like pain and suffering. Never again. So yeah, so that's my assembly thing. My purchasing, I have. Well, I guess we can all talk about this because we all got a set of the new brushes from Fortress Miniatures and Games.
Yeah,
Now,
I'm super happy about this.
according to the rules, that doesn't count as hobby progress because it's a gift. We didn't buy it.
But
I was gonna buy it anyways.
Honestly, these brushes are great. You get 5 like actual natural hair brushes from double aught to 2. You know, you double aught, 1, 2, and 3. Look at that. And then you get 2 dry brushes with the kit, and they're the nice short, stiff bristled dry brushes, which I'm super pumped for. I will talk a little bit more what I plan to use mine for in a minute, but I'm excited that we got these. These are really nice. So thank you, Bobby, for sending us those. Those are great.
These are like actual high quality ones. Like these are not go to Michael's and pick out the one that's like $1. Like,
yeah.
Like I know one person who needs these really badly. And Jason Hansa.
Jason,
because Jason's on a winning streak, and now he needs the good brushes. Because we've all seen what Jason paints with.
Oh yeah.
The man's got talent, but he doesn't have the tools. So
I thought the man just coated his models in glue and threw them in flock.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. His best brushes are the ones that we would use as a dry brush.
But no, these are great brushes, and I'm so happy and excited because essentially I go through a brush a lance. Like I am not a gentle painter.
Hey, as long as it gets paint on the model and the direction you want it to go.
Yeah, so everyone can find these on Fortress Medicine Games. I think Bobby just sent out an actual email. So if you're already subscribed, he talks about them there. All right, that's not my hobby progress. Steve, what you been up to?
Nothing.
No, I mean, I ran Motor City Mayhem, and that was great. That was a lot of fun. And honestly, I had a ton of help this year between my data folks and my COTOs and my photography team. It went really smoothly and was great. I think a lot of people had a really, really good time. We had a new venue. It was awesome. I will talk very briefly about one of the best things I think we did this year was for painting. Everybody showed up. You checked in. You placed your army on the acrylic like tier stand that we had. And we had like a professional camera set up with the aperture set like at the correct distance or the focus or whatever. And we snapped photos of every single army with a little like tag with their name and their faction. And every single army got photographed. And then the paint judging could be done preliminarily with that. And then to break tiebreakers, we called up some of the best people and we kind of went from there. But that made painting way easier. We didn't have to have people go, table to table to look at models while people were playing games. We weren't rushed. It was super great. And to have Chris and Andrew's help on that was awesome. Paul, helped me out with doing TO rulings and stuff like that. And Erica and Vicky were my data entry folks, and they used their Excel wizardry to, kind of make sure everything got entered quickly and accurately, which was great.
Yeah, that picture setup I saw, like I know you posted on the Motor City Mechwarriors Discord. I don't know if you posted it on the Mechbay Discord yet. But
no, when we drop the episode, we'll put it in there for folks to find.
Yeah, because it's real fun to look at like professional-ish grade pictures, like not with, the lighting's all the same for everyone. Like I can see the focus is right. And I was like, this is how I need to do it forever. Like
right. I mean, I think any major tournament, if they have the ability to do so, should try to do so because it was so nice. And now, after an event, I'm not scrambling. Hey, can everybody send me your pictures so I can kind of see what you guys saw? Because I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. No, it was great because I could actually look at all the models and say, wow, this is super cool. But we had a ton of fun. We had a ton of support from the community, a ton of support from other people. I mean, Bobby at Fortress Miniatures and Games, sent us a ton of great stuff. We had Gene from 888 STL send us a couple of battleships, which was awesome. We had Pam from RIW Games give us a bunch of gift cards. We had, like I said, a couple of people from the community pitched in. I'm forgetting, Ironwind Metal sent us a bunch of stuff. I know Jason Hansa gave us a book or two. And I don't have my Motor City notes in front of me, so I know I'm missing people, but it was great. It was great. People had a lot of fun, gave away a lot of prizes. And I am pleased because it was the easiest tournament I've run in many years, right? I think we've finally gotten most of the major kinks worked out, and we're
by the fourth time, third, second.
This is 26. We started ours in 23, so this is the fourth year, I think.
Okay, yeah, by the fourth year, you kind of know what you're doing. You're an amateur at least by then.
Right. And we did have a bar for the second half of the tournament. We had a bar. That was great. Can't guarantee 100% accuracy of all my rule declarations after the second half, but we had a fun time. So that was.
I'm
great.
glad.
Yeah. Bad news is that did not really allow me a ton of free time for painting.
That's okay, Steve. You're allowed the one inter-episode period of working.
Right. I did get some models printed though for my upcoming list for Battle in the Bay. So we gotta stop using B's, man. We gotta stop BITB, BFTB. It's too close. But we got all those models printed. So I have my force now I have all the units I need. I just need to actually paint them, and that's going to happen over the next week or two. But I did kill my 3D printer. It's dead.
Long live 3D printer.
Right. I mean, the problem in all of this is the 3D printer did a ton of work because everybody that came to Motor City this year got a 3D printed goon, as we called them, guns in Detroit. And we had a mission mode called Gun Runners for Detroit. So we had to run our guns around and do stuff with those, which was a fun game mode.
I mean, you did say that anyone who comes to Detroit gets a gun.
That's right. I said that. And they got a gun and they went home with their gun. Welcome to Detroit.
Look at this. Right. The goon was independently talked about twice on this episode.
I know. It's great.
If I had a nickel.
Right. But I think in printing off, 80 some goons, I might have stressed the 3D printer and I broke the LED screen gave out, or the LCD screen rather. It's no longer functioning properly. And the problem is my 3D printer is so old that replacement LCD screens cost, I think, like $30-$40 cheaper than a brand new printer. So I might as well just get a new printer when I get around to it, and I'll upgrade with that. But that hasn't happened yet, but it died like earlier this week, which is a problem because after Motor City, I've taken a little bit of a step back from BattleTech, right? It's like, all right, we've done our thing. We ran the big show. Time to take a small break. And I had a buddy who was talking about this game. And he's like, man, I really want to play this game. It'd be really cool. I said, that's neat. What is it? And he suggested we start looking at Blackout. So
at least it's not Halo Flashpoint.
At least it's not Halo Flashpoint. But yes, sci-fi futuristic small squad shooter game. Huh.
Oh, that sounds really familiar.
This one uses D10s though. That's too better than D8s. So I'm going to poke at that for a little bit. I got some models coming in the mail, and I'm going to start painting those up soon. But it's been a nice change of pace, just to like read the rule book and kind of just wrap your brain around something different for a minute. Just take
it is
a little bit of a
fast game too, which is very different than BattleTech.
30 to 45 minutes. So it's like, hey, that's an option. But
if I had a nickel for every time a Mechbay podcast host chose a small skirmish war game that didn't use D6s, I'd have 2 nickels.
All right, Denim, you got to find one that uses D4s.
Oh, okay. I could do that.
Perfect.
No, I mean, like we mentioned, we're in a lame duck period for BattleTech. It's very hard to be excited to even play BattleTech right now because it's like, hey, this rule that affects my entire list building and like thing, like it changes, and there's no reason for me to push myself to play with a rule that I know is changing, kind of thing. Unless
you really like the way the rule is right now, in which case play as much as you can, I guess, because it's going to shift in a couple of months, right? Get your last hurrah in. But
I don't think there's any rules that I'm like last hurrah needed for.
I mean,
as Steve's like tries to go through, and it's like
I'm trying to think. I'd say most, if not all, the changes are positive. Yeah, make stack pulling a mandatory rule. But anyway, for Hobby Progress, I did a bunch of stuff with BattleTech and some new stuff that's not with BattleTech, but I don't have anything to show for it. No painted models for me. But I will try to put the link to the Motor City Parade of Armies. Yeah, I'll try to put that in the show notes.
Okay.
Denim, how about you? You get any hobby progress done?
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever had a whole set of brand new brushes. Like I've always bought them piecemeal as they wear out. And I figured what better way to break them in than to make up a new mercenary unit, because of the Draconis Reach, and paint them all using these new brushes. So I'm about 35 to 50% done on those. And I look forward to sharing those and showing them off.
Cool.
Can't wait to see him, man.
It's going to be awesome.
You going to tell us what you're painting?
No, that's all part of the surprise. I won't even tell you what color scheme, because I know it's Draconis Reach, but I've painted so much Draconis Combine Red. I just figured I'd go more mercenary. And
the one time his faction's in style, he's like, no.
Because I have so many to use for it, like I am prepared. I am over prepared for this faction. And now I'd like a little extra color on the board. So
he's going to do Wolf Dragoons, which is just black and red.
Yep,
that's right.
I'm going to go black. So I'm getting rid of the whole red and black, and I'm going straight for black and red. You know it. Steve's got me figured out. There is black. There is black in this paint scheme.
See, called it, folks.
Statistically, the average BattleTech scheme is red and black.
It's true.
All right. Well, let's move on to some games played. Guess what? I don't have anything. I took Memorial Weekend off from playing. It was kind of nice, actually. So
no, it's nice. That's good.
Steve, you ran Motor City.
I ran Motor City. I did actually get 2 Hinterlands games in where I played for. It was effectively 2 chip games. I played Gary, and then again immediately after his wife Erica. This was after we did we had a very large banquet that we did, and part of the tradition of this banquet is that there are many, many toasts, and you have to drink for every toast. So Gary and I were at this. You have to, and they're not small glasses. So after Gary's wife picked us up and took us back to his place, he and I were going to play our chip game, and I don't recall what he took. I don't recall what I took. I do remember sitting on his porch rolling dice and being very excited when I blew his guys up. And then his wife's like, "Oh, I think I could take on Steve. He doesn't seem to be able to do basic math." And I said, "Challenge accepted." And I killed her. So yes, I don't recall much about that game either, but they were fun and they both got chips. And nice. I think they had a good time. At least that's how I remember it.
Or don't remember it.
Steve's sitting by himself on the porch with just a bunch of rocks. And he's like, "This is a great game.
This is a great game, everybody." But in other bad news, our local game shop closed that we had been going to, that we were running our tournament or our campaigns out of and everything else. Our local game shop guys just like, "Yeah, well, I'm going to retire." Okay, close the doors. And we're like, whoops. So now we have not had much in the last several weeks of we're trying to get the group together to scramble where we want to go to play games, because any other direction we push to a new game shop, we're going to lose players. People from downriver don't want to come all the way up, and people up don't want to go down, and east doesn't want to go west. And it's a bit of a conundrum. And I don't really want to rent a private hall every other Friday just to play games. So yay. Challenges of running a group.
That's rough.
Yeah. Like I said, things have been on fire the last couple of weeks. But Dem, you get any games in?
Speaking of things being on fire, I did have a 1v1v1. We did a blind box type game, but with the legendary Mechwarriors. So we ended up with a Devastator versus a Marauder 2 versus an Archer. The Archer had an awesome pilot. So I say it's a 1v.
So he was only trained on PPCs and small lasers?
Yeah. I say it was a 1v1v1, but the Archer and Marauder 2 both kept... We were playing on the Badlands map, the Desert Badlands, so it has all those big pillars and lots of places to hide. And they both found ways to hide from each other. And after 3 turns, I figured out that they're definitely doing it on purpose. So they could both shoot at me, I could both shoot at them, but they never had a valid shot, so that they didn't have to say they were making an agreement to team up on me. but they absolutely were.
Sounds pretty Desgra to me.
Oh yeah, it was pretty bad. The Devastator just kept taking. I was in the Devastator, and it took so much damage. Marauder 2 never got touched until I think turn 4, when I put a Gauss rifle through its head, which was super nice. Only one place of damage, right in the head. And that left me with the Archer, which had clan LRM 20s with the Artemis against my Devastator. My Devastator hit it in the leg so many times with its Gauss rifle, so many times, but it's in partial cover. So they all hit the hill. And it finally ripped through my torso with all the missiles, because it hit with, I think, an average of like 35 missiles per turn. And I've only got an Intersphere XL engine in the Devastator, so I did lose my mech. But on that very last turn, I finally hit with the Gauss rifle, not in a leg, and it was a headshot. So I did take both of them out with Gauss rifle headshots.
Oof.
And I lost my engine, but I was the only pilot who could walk away from that fight. So
Nice.
That's all that matters.
So I felt very good about that. It was fun.
All right. Well, I guess this whole episode's technically Tales preparing for the hiring hall, so I think we can skip that.
Yep.
Move on to some upcoming events. We've got the Atomic Empire tournament that Theo Lehman is running again. This will be, I think, the third year that he'll do that one. I should be at this one. Should be. It's
Nice.
20 minutes from my place, so.
Well, if you don't go, that's a little bit, I mean, you should be able to go.
And Steve, our mail master.
Of course. Yeah. So that is happening Saturday, July 25th. The Atomic Empire Classic BattleTech is a series of semi-competitive BattleTech events. You're looking at 3 rounds, 2.5 hours per round, strength of schedule, win-loss ratio, etc. It's faction specific, but not airlocked. And registration is $20. You need to register by July 25th at 10:20 a.m., according to the website, which seems surprisingly late to register, but
It's for the locals, so.
Yeah, well, okay, that's good then. But I mean, check it out, and hope you'll have a fun time. I won't be making that one. No offense to Theo. Not that I wouldn't fly down, but my wife would probably kill me.
Yeah, I still don't know what I'm going to take to this one. Would I take what I was intending for Richmond Open, or do I try something new? Because I took my Pirates to that one last time, so.
You should bring nothing but wolfhounds and call it a wolf pack.
No, because we have the college here that's called the Wolf Pack.
Yeah, that's why it'd be funny.
No.
Where's your team spirit, Josh?
Not that school.
Do you know what their colors are, Steve?
Is it black and red?
Yeah.
Yeah. God, I'm good.
It's a little bit of white in there too, but mostly black and red.
Perfect.
Well, I think that's it. Oh, no. No, it's not it. Because we have some fan mail. And this one's addressed to us.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. All right. This is from Gary Lippard. Gary writes, "Hello, Mechbay. I guess this means I finally get to write hate mail. I wanted to comment on the decrease in amount of Alpha Strike coverage in the recent episodes. The Battle Armor episodes especially had me waiting for the Alpha Strike discussion, only for Steve to mention it. What felt like a few drive-by comments while speeding off through the classic BattleTech territory. As someone who primarily experiences BattleTech through Alpha Strike, I was really excited when Steve joined and started bringing Alpha Strike topics into the conversation, but lately feels like that side of the game is getting less and less attention. I completely understand why. Alpha Strike is intentionally more streamlined and less rules heavy than Classic, so there's arguably less mechanical complexity to unpack. But for players like me, it's the main way we engage with BattleTech. So I definitely miss hearing it discussed as part of the broader conversation. Anyway, still loving the show. Just wanted to wave the Alpha Strike banner before it disappears behind a pile of record sheets and heat tracking. Thanks, Gary." Yeah, Gary, unfortunately, that one was completely a, hey, we've got 90-ish to 120 minutes to talk about a subject. We've technically already covered this in Alpha Strike because we talked about infantry. And there's not really any difference between the infantry in that one and infantry in this one.
Unfortunately, in Alpha Strike, battle armor is really other than saying they get a +1 for being battle armor, and heat converts into regular damage unless they've got fire resistance. They operate like really any other unit. But I do appreciate the call out from our Alpha Strike stuff. I mean, we'll certainly try to make sure we start including that when it's relevant in certain topics, of course, right? Yeah. I mean, it is important. A lot of people play it that way.
We did
it just
not,
so happens that
we did not leave this one off because we don't like Alpha Strike. We left this one off because, hey, this is one of those, let's talk about the weird, hard rules of battle armor for Classic that people don't get right. That is pretty much one sentence in the Alpha Strike book. Like, and you enter a building like everything else. There is no construction factor dive through Kool-Aid Man the wall. Like, swarming is not a thing. Like, it was just a lot of subjects that don't really have any Alpha Strike correlation. So it's not that we didn't want to, it's just there wasn't the same depth that we could. So
I mean, I agree with him. We hired you for a reason, Steve. Stop dropping the ball.
We did not hire Steve for Alpha Strike content.
I mean,
he knows it better than I do. So
I hired him because he's a divorce lawyer.
I thought you hired me for my good looks in this audio only format.
Oof. Steve's not good, Steve. On that note, let's take a quick break and then we'll get into our main subject. Good old Draconis Reach. Reach heaven through violence.
Timbiki Dark presents Real Mechs of Genius.
Real Mechs of Genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Warhammer full of machine gun ammo.
Mr. Warhammer full of machine gun ammo.
Pirates see you coming and you tell them, welcome to the PPC Gun Show.
Do you have a permit?
Defying the construction rules, you pack a PSR in your hands with room left over.
But are you gonna explode?
Like a ticking time bomb, you walk onto the battlefield and proudly strut your stuff.
Yeah!
As long as your leg armor holds up, you'll be dancing on their graves. So crack open a sweet Timbiki Dark Beautiful and just pray they don't roll attack.
Mr. Warhammer full of machine gun ammo. All right, we are back. Draconis Reach. Reach heaven through violence. Reach the Golden Palace. Forbidden Palace? My Draconis Reach lore is... If I did an episode for that, I'd probably get canceled.
Well, you're in luck, though, because this book's got tons of lore in it. Like the lore in there is fantastic. There are tons of short stories, tons of TRO level... Just articles of awesomeness, like anything you need to know about that whole region.
Yeah.
It's a lot of it.
Well, that's going to be my first question. What is Draconis Reach? And Denim, you kind of nailed it. It's much more of like a source book, campaign book than Hinterlands was.
Yeah. So anybody who's still upset about the Draconis Combine and the Davians and how they mesh together, well, this is your time to really get it on.
Yeah.
I think it is also, when we talk about what is this is kind of a facelift for the Hinterlands book and the Mercenary campaign as a whole.
Yes.
We get a little bit of refinement, some cleanup, a couple of new things. Whether those new things are good or not, we will discuss. But I think that
a lot of polish.
A lot more polish than the first one. It really answers a lot of questions. I know a lot of the missions got revised and worked on, clarified. It's overall, I like it. And I know we're going to do kind of impressions at the end, but just to start, I think that this is a worthwhile investment because it's going to help update a lot of those questions you had from your Mercenaries box or your Hinterlands book.
Yes. So of the three of us, who have gotten a true Draconis Reach game in yet?
Oh, I have.
Okay. Steve, yes. You've had Motor City. It's okay.
Don't look at me like that. Don't. Yeah, we had Motor City. Like, you know the answer. You will note that my games played section was suspiciously light in games played.
And it's okay. I got my copy digitally. I also have not gotten any games played. So this is going to be, as with Hinterlands, an ongoing series of us playing it and talking about it. But tonight's episode will be a lot of what's different, because I'd like to think all three of us by the end were and are experts of Hinterlands. Like everything in there, the missions, the tracks, the contracts, the like scales, BSPs, the whole thing. And then this is not a one-to-one. This is not Hinterlands, new contracts, new missions. This is, we changed a little bit of everything. Some for the better, some for the worse, but we just changed it, a lot of things, and we added some stuff. So we're going to talk about this from a moving from one to the other kind of perspective more than anything.
Yep.
Okay. So first, the biggest change, because I wasn't thinking this needed to be changed, but I mean, it is. Named pilots. They specifically call named pilots is like the new thing now. Named pilots are what I was considering just pilots of mechs. That is no longer just what they are. They are the only, like, I guess if this was be a D&D campaign, they would be the player characters and everyone else would be an NPC. Like BSP pilots are NPCs.
They're more like the not named pilots are for original D&D. Like a long time ago, you would have your followers. So a paladin would have like X number of hirelings. They are your hirelings. They are the ones you shove in the meat grinder. The ones who are there to protect the player characters. So they're actually, I would even say less than an NPC, because an NPC has more of a part in the story than these do. They're just there to carry the gear and be a meat shield.
Poor meat shield.
Yeah, but they're necessary.
Yeah. So the other thing is you can only have 4 named pilots at a time.
So really, for lower scale situations, you're never going to notice the difference at all. Yeah. This is more important for the larger scale ones where you can field more than 4 mechs at a time. Because if you can't field more than 4 mechs, you're never going to use all of your named pilots.
How does the clan player in this feel?
I mean, if you want to run a full star, you have to have one goober, I guess, who doesn't get a name.
Yeah.
See, I'd do it differently. I'd have one guy who's named and 4 people who are nameless, and then all the rest of the named would be like one of the battle armor squads.
I can see that. I mean, I think what's more interesting about this section in the new book is how they've gone about setting up your force, right? Because before it was you get 3,000 battle value, you get 2 pilots that are 4 or 5, and you can just give them each a free skill bump. That is no longer how this works.
Correct.
Now you've got 2 named pilots at 4 or 5. They surprise everybody. We got a new mechanic that's not really a new mechanic, but it's like a kind of a new mechanic. We get edge, but it's not edge how you think it is. It's a new edge. It's a new definition of edge. So we can throw that in the pile with all the other edge definitions and get equally confused. But
I'm so angry at that.
Don't worry about it. We just need edge. You have an ability. We don't know what to call it. We'll call it edge and just throw it in the pile. You can figure it out later.
I love the ability. I wish they had used a different name. That's all.
But you get 4 or 5 pilots. If you're doing Alpha Strike, skill 4. You're welcome, Gary. And then every pilot gets an edge. And then you get to allocate 150 SP, which doesn't come out of your war chest. It's just another 150 points. And this is where I wish I'd given this a different moniker as well, because it's not really money. It's something else. Anyway, you get 150 SP for each of your named pilots, and then you get to spend them on starting improvement tables. So we get a new chart, which is exciting.
Quite a few new charts in this book,
which includes gunnery, piloting, skill for Alpha Strike if you're using that, edge tokens, and edge abilities. You get to spend 150 of that however you choose, and anything that's not spent, I believe you get to keep.
Nope. You have to spend it, even if it's just taking the leftover and putting it towards a new thing. But you can't hold it in the cloud. Like it has to be assigned to something.
But this is where it gets a little weird because the tiers don't break out evenly into 150 points per pilot, right? So you're going to end up with, so let's just say, for example, we look at the chart on page 17, you can put 60 of your 150 into edge tokens and 60 into edge abilities. That's 120, which means you've got 30 points left.
Yep.
Those 30 points have to be assigned to progress that pilot's ability towards the next checkpoint or the next level, but you have to assign them, but they don't do anything. So it's like, what I meant by you get to keep them is that they just don't do anything for you until you spend more.
Right.
But
it's like a video game. Like, I'm assigning all my experience in this skill tree. It doesn't unlock the next skill, but I have to put it into the skill tree pool.
Right. Which is why I wish they'd used a different name than SP, because we already have an SP that's supply points. We spend those for repairs and everything else. Now we have pilot SP. It's a PSP. I don't know. It's not a bug. It's a feature, but like we should just figure it's okay to make new names. It's okay to make new names so we have individualized titles for stuff.
Yeah. I'm less as concerned about that because SP was always an abstract concept that covers money, contacts, bribes. Like it covers so many different things already. So I get calling it SP. But yeah, it's
now it's a different pool of SP though. I'd almost like to have
just for this initial setup. You still use SP to increase your pilots later. So you're still using SP. You're just like, this is free bonus SP that can only be used for that.
Fair enough.
Instead of giving a free gunnery upgrade on your guy in a Devastator at 2,999 PV, you gotta assign it somewhere.
And it is nice to have a slow trickle to build stuff up. That is true.
Yeah, I think Hinterlands really suffered from moving. You could upgrade too fast.
Very fast, yeah. I agree with that.
It's like, oh, hey, pump the brakes, kid. Like, you're not a 0-0 pilot in 1 year. Like, no, that takes decades. All right. Well, yeah, starting out, very different. Very different.
And again, just so we understand, named pilots are the only ones that you can increase the skill. All unnamed pilots are all 4/5, skill 4 for Alpha Strike, and they can never be increased. It.
I like that. That I don't always need the named character if I'm taking like a Locust or a Stinger. Like, no,
it's probably gonna die.
Yeah. I'm like, we're not going to put Bob, who I've been putting all of my experience points and resources in. It's like, no, I just need a guy with a mech with a probe. He doesn't need to be the best guy. I just need a guy.
Yeah. So it is going to even out that curve. You're going to have a lot more 4/5 pilots on the field. So you're not going to be able to hit as much with every single pilot, but also each loss isn't going to be as devastating.
That's the big one. This was something I was very excited about. There is now a much more flushed out option for starting with a regular military command.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Hinterlands is very Mercs in the Wild Wild West. Like, that's literally what it's kind of designed as the setting to be. Draconis Reach is giant nation state versus giant nation state, some mercenaries in the middle in the borderlands, but it's still big guy versus big guy. So this is essentially what I was doing last time, but now I would be doing what the rules actually say, and I really love that. First off, there's no negotiation. You get the contract as presented.
Follow an order, sir.
Here are your orders.
No, I was
That's it. Yeah.
Now it's not the contract as presented, but the contract as your employer presents it, which is 100% pay, 100% transport, and 100% straight support. That's it. But then you get one option. You can either take 50% salvage and integrated command, or 0 salvage and house command. Yeah,
Such
right.
A choice too. Like, that's a hard choice.
So rough. Rough scenario.
Do you like the rock or the hard place?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I mean, I like that. I like that.
It's a good choice. Like, it's because you don't want
Thematic,
either
yeah.
one. So it's like, yeah, it matters.
The very cool part, which I was very excited about, was for purchasing mechs. It's you roll once per month on the faction purchase option like table, and that's what you get. Like, you're not looking at the salvage yard. You're looking like, okay, you putting in the request for the employer. The employer is like, this is what's available. Do you want it or not? That's great. I love that because now all those tables have actual much more use.
Yeah, that's true.
And again, a lot more tables.
Yeah. The downside, which I also love, it's very thematic. You pay 50% extra for the mechs that you could buy from contracts.
Yeah. But
Like,
that makes sense. Like,
it's just this part I loved. This was awesome. It's like, yeah, I can get my Fed Son's hammer hands in, but I can't buy a Hero Falcon just willy-nilly. Like, I don't have the support staff for that one right away. So I'm just when I was about to try out actually doing mercs, they hit me with a regular military command with full rules, and I was like, dang it. This looked fun and painful, but fun. So, all right. Here's the hard one, and we're going to have to slow down the podcast.
I know.
All right. Experience gain.
Yes.
Before, you just gained SP.
And then you spent SP.
And then you spent SP. And pilots that participated in a battle in that contract could get the SP like, essentially at cost.
Yeah, and you know, you were limited to how many times you could upgrade a pilot, but there were very little. There's very little like slowing you down. You could do basically whatever you wanted to, whomever you wanted to.
Yeah, this is a little different. Denim, help me out here.
I would love to. So when you finish a track, you can assign the supply points you acquired as combat pay up to 200 supply point per scale to the named pilots that took part in that track. And this is how you're going to increase their skills for the named pilots. Because, you know, like Steve had mentioned before, you could give them like extra edge tokens or edge abilities or put points towards increasing their gunnery and piloting. You can't just increase the gunnery because you're probably not going to have enough points. So any of the pilots that took part in that track, you assign the SP to, and then you determine the amount of combat pay SP to allocate to the named pilots as a whole and divide that SP evenly among the named pilots that took part, with an addendum that a named pilot may not receive more than 100 SP per track. So you're already limited to 100 SP per track, and increasing your gunnery from a 3 to a 2 costs 700 SP. It's going to take a while. The big problem is that you have to divide that SP among all the pilots that are named that took part in it, even if they didn't survive. So if you lost a pilot, you're losing that amount of SP. It just disappears.
Which makes sense because it's like, hey, he got experience. The other guy doesn't get his experience. You didn't do a brain transplant at the last second.
But then you get to also assign one of your pilots as the MVP, which I do not like the name for this. I would have rathered it be like a field commendation or a medal or something. Like MVP makes it sound too Stellaris-y, like too game world-y. I would rather it be a more military designation for this. And those people can get a bonus 20 SP that's not counted in the in your normal combat pay earnings.
It's literally the performance bonus at the end of the year.
Yeah. So call it a commendation, not an MVP award.
Yep.
Now, is the MVP award like? Is there any restrictions to that, or is it just like you choose a person to get a bonus?
You choose a person that you like who gets a bonus 20 SP. Yeah.
I've played
a free bonus 20 SP.
Pro tip, don't pick the dead guy.
Yeah. What if both your guys are dead?
Then give it to the one who deserved it, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, I finally got to promote him.
See, a posthumous MVP award as opposed to a posthumous commendation. Like, yeah, you could have used a different word for that.
Yeah.
I was not asked, so.
No, I mean, I've played a couple other systems where there's like the MVP thing. Like Warhammer Crusade had literally, I think it was just called the MVP, and you just, yeah.
I think this is going to be the part that people get confused about the fastest.
My thought was like that was very gamed in that system because it's like, oh, I can choose any unit. Well, I'm going to choose my strongest unit to always get more XP, and then it snowballs. So I don't think that'll be as much of a problem in BattleTech, but like.
Well, looking at the points, the amount of SP
20 is not significant. Yeah.
Even 120 is not significant. Once you get past level 2 or 3, it costs a lot to increase your skills, like a lot.
Which I'm happy about. I'm very happy about long-term progression.
Right. It's going to certainly slow down those leagues. You're not going to see any 0-0 pilots pop up in a single league.
Now, I think we should probably mention this because as we were going through this, I'm looking at this and go, man, I wish there was some sort of card to help me track all of this. Don't worry, folks. On top of all the paperwork that you get to keep track of normally for this style of game mode, you've now been given a new page on the back of the book. It's called the Campaign Pilot Card. It's got all this stuff kind of on here for you that you can spend your points. It shows how many points you've got in what column. It helps track it a little bit, but looking at this, I got boxes and acronyms and numbers everywhere. It's going to take you a minute to understand how this page is laid out.
And if someone hasn't already, like I will have form fillable versions of these up on the Discord sooner than later.
You're just going to want to read that section of the book with these cards in front of you so you can try to track.
Yeah.
What is the book telling me? Where am I going to track it? Okay. Thank you, book, for explaining this to me. But just know that on the back page of the last page in the book, in the index there, you're going to find your campaign cards for your pilots. So take a look at that.
There's a lot of paperwork in the book, and it's there for a reason. You should definitely use it and keep plenty of scratch paper for your first few games.
All right. Next little change topic. Unit limits per scale. Instant love. It is essentially 3 times whatever the scale is. So if you're playing at scale 1, 3000 PV, you get 3 units.
Yeah.
That's
we're not going to spam locusts or whatever and have 9 models on the field.
Now, does this include BSPs? Because units in BSPs.
I mean, BSPs are a unit.
Yeah. Like my brain says yes. But I don't know. Because I feel like 32 BSP gets you like, I don't know, 2 bad tanks. So maybe
it could
not.
Get you 2 bad tanks and 1 real one. I would say that if they're talking about units limit per scale, I'm going to say that they're specifically talking about battle mechs. And I admit I have not gone through to make sure that that's exactly what it says, because some things are stated in pages before. It is my understanding that BSPs do not count towards that limit.
That is what I thought. I would also like to see it the other way, like just as equally. So it's not
there are quite a few missions that specifically say that either BSPs count towards the score or do not count towards the score. And there's so much variation on that having the BSP count towards the 3 units for scale 1, I think would end up being more problematic than helpful.
Yeah, that was my thought. So
looking at the language in the book, I think BSP units do count towards the unit cap, because it specifically calls out that infantry units count as half units for their unit limits. And if you're playing this, your forces are mechs, and they would not call out infantry units counting as half, right? So I think what the book is trying to encourage you to do with your 32 BSP is to instead take a tank and some strikes.
That was
right?
that was that version of how I read it. Like, okay, you get your 2 mechs, and a tank and a little, like maybe a strike or extra, or like one mech and 2 BSPs, but you're not taking 12 Savannah Masters. Like, it's always the problem. Like,
Yeah.
Well, so far, it's always an issue.
So far, in the limited number of games I've played, this has not been an issue either way. But I would like to get some clarification on that, since it is obviously a little bit obfuscated here.
Yeah.
So,
okay, we asked. The answer to our giant question is the unit limits do not care about BSPs. So it just cares about your actual mechs, not your tanks and everything like that. So it's just a mech limit. All right. Next one. This is great for that first part. Negotiation cap. It became a problem where some people were like, well, I'm going to just take the all money contract and then bump the money even more. So now you get to go up 1 bracket per scale. So the contracts have a lot more, they don't have as much wiggle room. Like, you can't fully spec them out however you want. Like,
you can make the whole thing a little bit better, but you can't make one thing way, way better.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
This cap,
it needed tweaking.
Yeah.
Is this each category can only go up 1 per scale?
Yes.
So the base pay can only go up by 1, and my salvage rights could go up by 1?
Correct.
Okay. And because I'm just real curious, because last time, like we said, people would start sacking, all the salvage and instead dump it into support so they wouldn't have to pay repairs or whatever. Right. So that's good.
So you don't need salvage if all your stuff is perfectly pristine at the end of it.
I think that's probably a good change to stop gaming the system, right?
It very much was a good change, yeah.
Because you got to think about it this way, right? If we're going to look at it from an in-lore perspective, I have a job. I'm like, hey, I need somebody to, stomp out some womp rats or something. And someone comes in and says, sure, I'll take your job, but I want to, instead of this, I want that. And can I sub this for mayo and pickles? And, it's all of a sudden it's not remotely close to what I can afford to pay as the employer. So having some limits on that is fine.
Yeah,
it's nice.
It's a good tweak.
All right. This kind of ties into it. Reputation.
I love these changes. These are great.
This is how Scott from Scott's Game Room did for like our mercenary one, and it was just so much better.
Yep.
Reputation now is per contract. So you're no longer getting +1 if you win a mission. You're getting +1 if you complete a contract. That feels a lot more how it should work. Yeah. Also, you don't lose reputation when you lose anymore, which feels a lot better, because it was really easy to like, hey, I lost 2 in a row. I'm back to 0. Like, I can no longer negotiate anything. It's like, because
I mean, you can still lose. It's not like you can't lose reputation. You just can't do it by doing your job.
Yeah.
Like, if you're out there doing your job, you're going to be fine. If you do like acts of piracy, like, people are like, oh, you guys suck. Your reputation is going to take a hit from that. And then there's a resource that you can use instead of how it was in the Hinterlands campaign. I like it. I like it like this way better.
Yeah, it's just not quite so punishing, because how many times have you gone into your first contract with a new force and maybe you get some bum rolls, but you try your best and you fight the good fight, but you still have to pull off the field, or your opponent gets the data and escapes. And that happens 2 times in a row. Now, who wants to hire you? Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't sound right, but
I love that like unauthorized destruction of buildings can cause.
It matters now.
It does. War crimes count.
I know. You can't do all those hinky things that you may have done the first time.
I have to find out which one is the headquarters and destroy it. I'm just going to destroy all the buildings, and one of them is the headquarters, right? Well, you can do that.
Who would do that, Denim? Why would anyone do that? I would never, ever do such a thing, especially not with an SRM carrier that can one-shot buildings. Why would you say that?
Yeah, well, you shouldn't anymore, because your reputation is going to suffer for it. And I love that. I love that a lot.
All right. The whole contracts is different. And by the whole contracts, I mean like the amount of like pay on the entire table. Like, the steps have been changed. So you cannot use your Hinterlands negotiation sheets for this, because like money's different.
Yeah, you're in a whole different area. So the rules are just different. Just, accept that and you'll be better off for it.
Yeah. Yeah, the changes to like the middle levels of the support really helps out because it really felt like you're getting nothing or everything. And there needed to be a little bit like bell curve in the middle.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy about that. The tracks, just the missions are different. Like,
right. They have been completely redesigned and rewritten from the ground up. And that needed to happen. And I'm not going to claim that they're perfect, but they are much more enjoyable to play, in my opinion, than they were in Hinterlands.
Well, I think the big thing in Hinterlands is that, a lot of the missions were grabbed from, they're only, like we've talked about before, there are only so many ways to run a generic mission in BattleTech. And, when some of these missions get pulled from either other resources or they're, copied or something like that, there were some issues in the initial printing of the Hinterlands book. The games were, I don't want to say unplayable, but they took an awful lot of, interpretation and
right. You had
critical
to interpret
thinking,
it,
like, what is it supposed to be, right?
You definitely had to talk about it at the beginning to be like, okay, we have to be on the same page here, so there's no surprises. Let's make sure that that we're both approaching this the same way.
Right. When the run across the map mission says attacker walks on their board and they can only escape off their board edge. Well, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense, right?
Well, that was an errata, like that was a typo.
Of course it was. But I mean, when it's in the printed book, you're like, wait a minute, I win on first turn. That doesn't sound right. So, that type of stuff, obviously, having some of these things cleaned up and the tracks redone for this book, I think is a great, great improvement. And I'm excited to see how they play.
Yep. I too think that they're much, much better and they run smoother.
I'm glad because they needed that. All right. There's just more support and like paragraphs and rules for the inclusion of total warfare vehicles, Alpha Strike vehicles, of course, and infantry. We just mentioned, like they specifically called out infantry and how it affects your unit cap. Mm-hmm. Like all the tables are like, hey, this is a vehicle. This is the name of it. This is the BSP cost, the BV cost, the PV cost. I was like, this is great. Then they had the whole section of like, what kind of campaign do you want to run? You want to run a tanker? Like if you want to just run like Total Warfare tanks, you can do that. And the rules that will affect that, like overall. This wasn't for me. Like the mechs are the main character, but I mean, look, it's the Fed Sons versus the Draconis Combine. If you want to run the Ajax-A with 3 rack 5s, like this is the book that's going to let you do it.
Well, it is also nice because BattleTech has a really nice history of being very inclusive of play styles, right? There are a lot of people that want to use this system with tanks, with infantry, and that really wasn't an option before. I mean, I guess you could do it, but you have to kind of homebrew your own rules. This gives people more options to play and how to play, which I can always appreciate. I'm not going to use those rules. I'm a mech man myself. That's why I like the game, and I don't play bolt action or, Flames of War, right? I want my giant walking death machine mechs. But it's nice to make it open to these other people that want to play that way so they can, which is great.
Sounds great. All right. Here's a big one because it never felt good in Hinterlands. You're the underdog fighting the guy who's been playing the contracts for the last year and it's your first game. Oh, well, you get more BSP. I was like, that's okay. Denim, how does handicaps work in...
I'm not going to say this is a better system. It's a different system. We won't know if it works better or not until after we've really played it a whole bunch. But now all of those named pilot improvement table stuff that you've got, they have a column called H for handicap. And for each pilot you have, each named pilot, you add all those up and then you average all of your named pilots together. And that is your force's total handicap. You compare that to your opposing force handicap, and whoever has the highest number of points, the other person gets extra BSP points to the equivalent of the difference between the two numbers. So it's just a way to get a few more airstrikes or vehicles on the field to kind of balance the forces between people who've got. And since you don't know which pilots are going to go out there, that's why you have to average them all together, because you might get a crappy one, you might get a good one. You don't know, you can't plan for it, so you just get some more BSPs because of it. It's. I need to play it more before I can tell how smoothly this runs. But in the one real game I've played so far, it was a bit weird to wrap my head around.
I mean, I think I see what they're trying to do when they phrase it that way, right? Yes. But at the same time, we'll see if it has a desired effect, right?
We will see. All right. Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Edge.
Again, my biggest problem with this is the fact that it's called Edge, and there's already something called Edge.
No, there's like 1,200 things called Edge. It's like
there are already some things called Edge. Yes.
Yeah, the edge of the paper, the edge of the map. Like I cannot control F
and hit edge.
And I'm like, this was an oversight, and we didn't think about this. Like, control F is how I get through my games. If I can't control F edge, then it don't work.
Yeah, because it brings up like
every edge of map.
The opponent's edge is the south edge,
exactly.
Stuff like that.
So
look, this should have been called like pilot powers, or I don't know, give it some look.
Hand of Blake.
Do we have a PP that we could like search for? I don't, look, we could just
don't rename COD points to
oh Jesus. No, I mean I'm glad that we've got this system, because this system of edge in this particular instance is pulled a lot from the Aces box, right? These edge abilities and what this can be done and how this is used. I really like the way this functions in Aces. But before we dive into what these abilities do, why don't we talk about what edge can do for this?
Yes.
For every time we say edge, folks, massive air quotes, okay? Just imagine those air quotes for us, because we're talking about this as it's listed in the book. So this version of edge can do multiple things for you in the Draconis Reach box.
Do 4 things. First thing, add 1 to an attack roll, only once per roll.
So even if you've got 3 edge and you roll a 9, but you needed a 12, you can only increase it to a 10. Like, you cannot bump it all the way up.
Number 2, you can choose to apply the reroll motive systems damage. So if you get immobilized and you're a tanker or something, you can reroll that and not be immobilized.
Because it does suck when you're playing the TW rules of vehicles to get immobilized on like turn 1 or 2. It really does.
I mean, this also applies to Alpha Strike a lot. Like those vehicles, we've all played the hovercraft and just got boxcars immediately.
Yes.
Wah, wah.
Yeah. Hey, it's your fault for taking a hovercraft.
They're so fast.
Number 3, re-roll a critical hit. If you roll a critical hit, you can spend an edge token to then re-roll the location also.
So you're spending. So I get whopped in my left torso. I have an open area. You hit internal structure. I'm about to get a critical hit in that location. You roll a 12. I don't want you to get 3 critical hits in that torso because I got ammo in there. That's dangerous and bad. So I will spend an edge to make you re-roll it.
No.
No.
You can re-roll one of your critical hits. You can't re-roll someone else's critical hits.
So it's not like edge at all, but it's a different edge.
Right. This can't be used defensively. This is used from a pilot who is attacking another pilot.
So I shoot you in your open torso, and I don't get that coveted 8+. I spend an edge to re-roll it.
Yes.
And then now, can you wombo combo this? Because let's say I roll and I did get a critical hit. I could instead spend an edge to re-roll the location.
That's what I read it as, that if you get
or is
a critical
it only
hit.
Tax? You know what I mean? If I get a through armor crit and we roll a location, can I then shift it?
That's how it reads as, right? It says if you roll a critical hit, you can spend an edge token to re-roll the location. That's
but
what
my
it says, right?
Well, yeah, but if I roll a critical hit, say I shoot you in the left torso, could I then shift it to your head?
Oh,
you see what I mean? Like the way that it's written, it's like if you get a critical hit, you can re-roll the location. I go, but I hit you in the torso. It should be limited to there.
Yeah. See,
is this a drafting error?
The wording. I think it means that like if there's 2 engines and an ammo, you can re-roll to see if you hit the ammo. That's how I read it.
Okay.
That makes more sense than...
That makes a lot more sense, but that's not how it's written.
You are correct.
Yeah. There is already a rat out for this. We're not reading that this episode. We will read that after and then talk about it for our first Hotspots Draconis Reach game.
Now, Josh, you've read about the different things that Edge can do, but Edge isn't really an edge. What Edge is a token that you get. That token can be spent to do any of those 3 things that you just mentioned, or it can do more.
A secret 4th thing.
But you have to spend points to unlock these abilities before you can use them.
Well, the token that you spend, the edge that you spend, you would use to activate an edge ability.
That you have to pay for.
You have to get that edge ability before you can use it. Correct. Now, Josh, in a break we took when we were discussing this, you pointed this out earlier. In all other parts of this book, the rules for Total War or for classic BattleTech are listed first with Alpha Strike rules in parentheses. In this section of the book, all the Alpha Strike stuff is first with Total Warfare in parentheses. And the reason for that is because these new edge abilities came from Aces, which was designed with Alpha Strike or it was designed not only with Alpha Strike in mind, but was designed in Alpha Strike.
Only
period.
For Alpha Strike, yeah.
First. So if you've played Aces, these will seem familiar to you. And truthfully, I think that these edge abilities will eventually, and as they should, replace SPAs.
Yeah.
Because these
but
function,
we don't have confirmation on that. That's just what
that's my thought. That's my thought. I think it should do that. I think these have the same feel of an SPA. They allow you to do something special, but it's not broken and you can't do it all the time and you have to pay for it and you have to work at it to get them in the first place. It feels like a much more well-earned reward for a specific pilot with a specific play style than the SPAs were previously.
Now, I got to say this. We've had a lot of discussions about SPAs on the show. Go back years. None of them changed. Aces comes out. It'd be instant change. I was like, I'm a little disappointed that it took this long to just get something back.
Well, I don't think my opinions of SPAs have changed. I think the execution of the original SPAs was so imbalanced that they couldn't really be used. These edge abilities, or SPA 2.0s, whatever you want to call them, I think these are much more tempered into a usable state.
Yes.
Right. You know that Jason Hansa wrote the original SPAs, right?
He didn't write all of them. That was a miswrite in the episode. He only wrote the infantry ones.
He wrote quite a few of them, but all of them, he stated, and it was correct, that they were made for the RPG, not for tabletop game, and that it's just frustrating that they've been put into Total Warfare books as if they were meant to be played on the tabletop, like in pickup games, and they were never designed for that. They've just never been rebalanced since.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that these edge abilities are the rebalancing that we're looking for, because I could see you using 1 or 2 of these in your normal pickup games, because you're only going to have 1 or 2 edge points more likely than not, and you're only going to be able to use it once or twice a game.
Right, and you're going to have specific pilots. So this pilot has this edge ability that he or she can choose to spend an edge token to activate. But the pilot like builds this list of abilities that they can use in a game. They can't just pick from the entire list every time. They can only pick from the ones that they have purchased for their pilot through normal leveling up.
Right. And if that pilot dies, those edge abilities die with them. So good. Do we want to explain some of these for the folks at home?
I don't think so.
I don't want to
buy the book.
Yeah, I don't want to read just like all these. I want to say just in general, all these look better. Like the not great ones are okay, and the great ones are pretty good, but there's no like super losers, which I think is the best part.
Right. There is a jumping jack, but it makes more sense.
Yeah.
It's not nearly as broken.
It's still good. It's just not tire iron behind the back alley level of good. Also, the fact that you have to buy it and then pay to use it, you can't use it every turn. That
you
was
have
what
limited
was
number of uses based on how many edge tokens that your pilot has purchased. Yes. Yeah. Also a lovely little addition there. So again, I love the edge system. I love the edge concept. I just wish it'd been named something else. That's all.
All right. That, I think, was the majority of everything that changed, besides like getting more tables, more lore, more contracts. So those are our big things. There's a few minor things that I feel like we need to touch on now before we touch on them in our Tales from the Iron All episodes later on. The first one is scanning. It's much more well defined in this than Hinterlands, right, Dedham?
Well, that's because it was not defined in Hinterlands. So, yes, some definition is better than no definition.
Yeah.
When they have a mission with scanning, you can actually go and look up what scanning is. But it's not the same scanning that's in the playtest, so we'll see like what happens with the core rule books. But it is defined in this book for the missions that are in this book, and that's what they're designed around.
Yeah.
So, yay.
I will instantly say I am not a fan of 2-turn scanning, just because some of the missions are only like 8 turns long max. And when I played that 2-turn scanning way, it was
a little tight.
It's like, oh, if I get in range turn 1, I can get in, and if I lose initiative on the next turn, they just move away and I can't scan them anymore. It's like, great. 2-turn scanning, if you either get it or you don't. And I understand like 1-turn scanning is a little too easy, 2-turn scanning is a little too hard. And then it's also, like you said, different from what's in the playtest. So
because the playtest has like a roll, and average pilot is 8 up. There are games where I don't ever roll an 8 up, so it's an 8-turn, 9-turn scan for me. Like there's pluses and minuses to
exactly. I'm just like, every time I did the 2-turn scan, I was like, they would just be like, cool, I'm just going to move away from you because you lost the initiative. And I was like, great.
Josh, I have a proposal for you.
Just one initiative? Yeah.
No, a new phase. The scan phase. We could add a new phase to the entire game. It'd be great. You can't see his face at home, folks, but he's not happy with me.
The whole playtest was just like, we're removing this because we're moving this to the phase that it actually belongs because it affects all the other phases. And it's like, yeah, none of this like at the end of the turn, at the start of the combat, start of the physical. All right, another minor change. The scoring / orders system for each mission. Steve.
Yeah, so Denham may be able to speak to this a little bit better than I can, but one of the things that we found in Hinterlands when it came to scoring the mission, you got like 3 objectives, and if you did them, great, and if you didn't, obviously you lost. But in this one, we have a little bit more granularity, and it's a little bit easier to do what you're supposed to do and get your combat pay for it, rather than like, oh, you didn't get any of your objectives done, you can't win at all.
Right. Okay. So here, you're touching on it exactly right, Steve. So in Hinterlands, you would have the whole thing where here are your objectives. If you do your objectives, you get paid. If you don't do your objectives, you don't get paid. But really, you're just there to do a job. So as long as you show up, you're going to get paid some amount of money, unless you just like walk on and then turn around and walk off. The problem is that how do you define exactly what was putting in an effort and what isn't? So now each track is given something called orders. Very easy to accomplish. It's just it's like your participation trophy level of an objective. Here is what you have to do to be able to say that, hey, I participated in this battle, therefore I deserve to get paid.
Right. I did my job. Yeah. Therefore, I didn't abandon the field.
Right.
I didn't, because sometimes, especially in the Hinterlands rule set, you would show up and try your dangdest, but you just straight up lose. And sometimes those consequences were brutal because you wouldn't get benefits, you wouldn't get paid. They wouldn't, you just got hosed, and it didn't feel great because you're like, but I did I tried to do what I was supposed to do. I was honorable. I, fought my hardest, and I just got my legs blown out or whatever. And then you got you didn't get paid and everything else. It just felt horrible. So this gives everyone a nice, like, hey, you showed up, you did your job, and it didn't work out today. That's okay. Get back in there and try.
Right. You didn't abandon the field because you achieved these objectives, these orders.
Yeah. So I like that.
Me too.
Yeah. I think that's it for the minor ones, unless anyone has any other thoughts.
We could be here for hours.
We didn't touch at all about the different contracts in this book, because this book is full of contracts, but that's not part of our first impression type things. There are some fantastic ones. There are some good ones for beginner players. There are some great ones for much more experienced players. There's a whole range of what do you want when you're looking for a contract in this book. And I think the people who wrote those did a fantastic job.
I like a lot of those missions as well. The other thing that I would call out as a really nice addition to this book is they have random assignment tables, and they've got like a ton of them near the back of the book. I have been hoping for random assignment tables in these books for a long, long time, because when you finish a mission or you're back at the hiring hall, sometimes you just want to kind of change it up and see what you can get a new mech for. On one page, it's got 4 different, assignment tables, and there's a whole nother one for vehicles and some other stuff as well. So I really like that addition. I think that's nice. It gives people a little bit more direction if they're working for the Fed Sons or the Draconis Combine or hopefully the Sphere, whoever they're working for, kind of in this book. So that's a really nice addition as well.
Okay. All right. We're going to end this with our recap opinions. So I think first off, we can say this is a much better balance between Alpha Strike and Total Warfare. A little bit of Hinterlands was much more focused for Total Warfare, and now it seems to be much more like closer to 50-50.
I think they've done a better job in this one of including the relevant Alpha Strike rules immediately after the Total Warfare rules are listed.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, well, I'm reading this predominantly for Alpha Strike players. Where am I going to find these rules? It's like, no, you just go to the same section and then you find your little blurb for Alpha Strike, as opposed to waiting for the end of a chapter effectively and looking for all the Alpha Strike rules in one paragraph.
Right.
It's laid out much better for Alpha Strike players. So especially when you're trying to find a rule by Control F, you can look in the same section that you would for the Total Warfare rules. So that's a nice.
I like it this way better.
Yeah. The experience, that's going to be a lot of experience gain after mission. I feel like we can no longer do that in the 5 minutes between games. I feel like
you've got homework now.
I liked being able to play 2 scale 1s back to back and be like, cool, I got this much XP, and
you're gonna get faster. You're gonna get faster, but to begin with, it's gonna be a lot of really. You're gonna have to take good notes, and then really sit there and go through your worksheet. I'm sure there's going to be things that'll make it easier, but the more games you play, the faster it'll get.
And really all that matters is if you hit that next skill on the skill tree. It's like, I assigned it to this, and if I buy it, then I'm going to print out a little chart and little fill-in marker. So when I get to the thing, I instantly know. I feel like
you got to do those thermometers for fundraisers. Exactly. You just keep coloring it in.
Yep, you got it.
Love it.
Yeah,
love it.
We've added a new currency to the MMO. It always takes a couple days to figure out what can I buy, what can I not buy with it. So, named pilots, I think that's okay. I think it's a good change.
I think it's a positive change, but I don't think it's going to affect scale 1 people in any way at all.
No, this is not for scale 1. This is for
the only way it's going to affect them is that their skill improvements are going to be much, much slower. But when you are limited to 4 named pilots and you can only bring 3 units out on the field, you can always bring a named pilot. Like, that's not going to stop you at all.
But also Alpha Strike.
That's, well, even still, you're only getting 100 PV to start. So you're,
Yeah, to start for scale 1, but like scale 2, scale 3, like you cannot have every person / mech in your company have an edge ability and all that. Like, you are now
That's
limited.
True.
So it's for Total Warfare, it looks a little weird. For Alpha Strike, it looks like we should have always had like, hey, we can just change. We would just change that instead of you only get 4 named pilots to only 4, or max of 4 things per thing have edge abilities and edge.
Yeah,
but yeah,
because that's one thing. I mean, I think even in some of my later Total Warfare campaigns that I've been running through Hinterland stuff, I've got more than 4 named pilots, and that's just because I would buy one and then train them up as a backup, just in case something happened to them and someone died. I wouldn't have to start from scratch automatically with a named pilot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that, you can run some 4-5s in your missions and everything else if you had to. I don't know if I love the name pilot cap, but we'll figure it out. And if we don't like it, maybe at our tables we'll change that for our local group. Who knows?
We'll just see. We've got to play it more to see how we feel about it.
Yep.
I think I was up to 5 named pilots at the end of my scale 2 because I had like 5 mechs. But I'm also the person where it's like, this mech is only ever piloted by this person. Like,
okay.
Which is not, I feel like, how the hotspots want me to run. They're like, you have your mechs and you have pilots and you just slot them in. I was like, no, that's not how it works in universe. Like, I wouldn't let anyone touch my mech.
That's right. If my pilot dies, I sell the mech.
Yeah, pretty much. Or, they name their non-named inheritance to it. And then that person gets named. So that's how it works. It's just, yeah. So
I just imagine Josh has like very, very defined seat cushions in his house, right? It's like, only I get to sit in this one spot because the cushion has conformed to my body. And if anybody sits here, it's going to mess up my mech cushion. Only one person can sit in each mech.
I hate how right he is, folks. Hate how right he is. And yeah, I think that's, Denim, is there anything you want to?
No, in all, it is a fantastic book. Like, this is one of those that I will tell people, yeah, you should definitely buy this one because it's not redefining of anything, but it is a higher polish than the Hinterland. If you liked the Hinterlands book and if you like the Mercenary box set, then this is a fantastic edition that I could not recommend more. All in all, it's a no-brainer. You just like it will increase your enjoyment of this game.
Wow.
Is it perfect? Probably not, but who cares? It's what we need, is what it is.
Yes, this is a huge, vast improvement from Hotspots Hinterlands. We are critical about it because we have to be, but is this better than what we had? Very much so. Am I going to spend the next year of the problem? Here's the problem. I now have to play 4 months of not core of lame duck BattleTech rules and then switch. And I'm like, some mechs be good now and not. No, it's the other way around. Some mechs not good now, good after. And I'm like, oh no. We need to delay everyone playing Draconis Reach until the new rule book. That's the only way this works, Denham and Steve.
I'll just get new mechs when the core rules come out. I go through mechs fast enough. My pilots will take care of that.
Honestly, that's probably the best way to do this. If I was doing a play group, be like, hey, we're going to play Draconis Reach in time stop. Everyone's mercenary companies stop until the new core rulebook drops. And then we start new fresh ones because you're going to be playing. I think it's a great way to play the new core rulebook. New rules that you get to learn, and you get scale 1. So you'll have already mastered Draconis Reach, and then you can start mastering core rulebook.
I like it.
Yeah. So,
well, I agree with you folks, right? I think the book is great. I feel like I have to mention that Denham may be slightly biased because Denham has a mission that he wrote in this book, and it's really cool. You're going to like it. You need to check it out. And I'm not going to tell you which one because I want to see if the listeners can guess which one you wrote. Which one you wrote.
Can figure it out.
But when Denham's like, "Oh yeah, it's great. You should definitely go buy a copy," I'm like, Denham, are you being 100% unbiased in this? And I don't think the answer is yes. But that's okay because I like your mission. I think it's cool. I think the book overall is very cool. In one of the missions, and the black market option, you can buy a cattle master. Or you can, I guess you can earn a cattle master. It's great.
That is not my mission, but yes, that is correct.
Don't tell people that. You're giving them less. Yeah,
no, I don't want to think that you're like trying to push that one.
Oh no! Look, I bought a cattle master in metal, and then I got a copy of the book, and I'm like, holy crap! Yeah. I might be able to get a cattle master for my mercs. This is amazing. The cattle master is a terrible mech, but
it's a fantastic mission too. That one, by the way.
But I think the book is cool, and I'm excited to see how it improves the mercenary game modes, right? Or the mercenary play style. Because I really like enjoying the game that way. So some of these polish is it's needed and done well.
I'm glad. All right. Well, I think that's it for our initial review of Hotspot's Draconis Reach. So
we'll be talking about this for a while.
Yes. Yeah.
And if you want to talk with us about it, you can find us on the Discord and join us the conversation live there. And you can also shoot us an email if you have questions or thoughts on the Draconis Reach stuff. And you can reach us at the mechbaypodcast@gmail.com.
Until then, Mechwarriors, see you on the battlefields.